So it has been my favorite time of the year, which happens 4 times a year, which is a mad rush of cracking clients open. So when I crack clients open, really, I'm looking at who they are, what they bring to the world, how they operate, and help them to figure out what their niche is. And oftentimes people talk about niching down, but I want to talk about niching up, because oftentimes what happens is people get into the niche and they feel so constrained, they feel so scared that they're not going to find enough clients. And if you get too narrow in your niche, yes, that can happen. And if you get deep into your niche and you get really specialized, that can actually open you up to ideal clients, but there's going to be a smaller pool of them. That's okay. What happens with these crack you open sessions, though, is people see their potential and they start to see, okay, maybe this can transfer a little bit beyond what I thought. So that's why I say niching up. But there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear in niching in general, because it feels like you are leaving so much on the table. It feels like you are really boxing yourself in. But the thing is, nobody is really good at being a jack of all trades or a Jill of all trades, right? Nobody is really good at serving a whole different types of people, whole different kinds of knowledge that they're bringing to the table, whole different kinds of skills. If you have been in your industry, the people I work with typically are 50, 55 plus. There is a clear path that they can be taking that is clearly in their genius, that is clearly going to help them to serve the clients that they want to serve. And so when we can figure out what that is and what it is that they're going to bring to the table to actually create that impact in that industry with that type of people, that's where it feels like you're actually opening the world up. And it becomes less scary, because a lot of times when people go in, they think they have to be everything to that group of people. And what we do is we figure out, okay, what is the experience, what is the expertise that these people need from you that you are a master at? So not going and getting a whole bunch of new certifications and stuff that you have no idea what you're doing, but going in as a specialist to help them with this certain path. And when we do that, what happens is there is this ease that comes across my clients' bodies. I watch body language a lot when I'm doing these sessions with them. And suddenly they just go, oh yeah, that feels good. And once they have that, oh yeah, it feels good moment, we know this is the path that we need to take. If I'm saying things that they're having this anxiety, I can see their shoulders coming up, I can feel their body getting tense, then we're not on the right path. But once we hit that point of them going, oh yes, that's when they start to let things go. And when you're trying to come into a niche, when you're trying to figure out like how you're going to serve your clients at the best level with the best stuff, what happens is you have to let a lot of things go. There's going to be past identities that you have to let go. There's going to be past programs that you have to let go. There's going to be past expectations from yourself and from others that you're going to have to let go. And that can be scary too. Change, period, is scary for people. Change is not something that people are like, yeah, let's do change. There's very few people who lean into it. Apparently, I'm considered to be one of those people. But for most people, change is anxiety provoking. It makes people not want to do anything. Even if they know that's the right path, going into that unknown can be scary. But once we find that moment where they go, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely what I should be doing, then it becomes easier to start building the path forward. And that's what they do in the accelerator once they finish the Crack You Open. And there is, even in the accelerator, where they have committed, this is the path we're going on, this is what we're going to be working on for the next 90 days, there's still these moments of like, and there's resistance that comes up, and people say, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that. And no, that's not going to work for me, even though it's worked for other clients, right? And so there's always these shifts that are happening when people are getting into their niche, when they're trying to figure out like, how are they going to serve people at the highest level? And it can be really, really scary. But once you get past that, because this is the path that you're supposed to be on, these are the people that you're supposed to be serving, this is your best stuff that you can be changing the world with. And you have these moments of fear, and then you come back to it. You have these moments of fear and you come back to it. Eventually those moments of fear are easier to dissipate, and then you just come back to it and you stick to it. And for some people, it takes them 6 months to fully commit to that. Sometimes it takes a year. Sometimes it takes longer. Because again, when we're being stretched, it's uncomfortable. And when we get scared, it's uncomfortable. And so we want to rush back to what we know. There's temptation to go back to looking for a job or going way broader and being that Jack or Jill of all trades. But the people who have the greatest success, the people who have the greatest impact, the people who have the happiest profession where they feel like they are joyfully going to work, they are, excited to work with the clients that they get to work with. Those are the ones who have niched into their genius. And it's hard. It's hard to say no to things that you've said yes to. It's hard to turn down contracts that are no longer a fit for what you're doing as you put your time into the contracts that are going to get you to where you want to go. It's hard to also let that doubt go that you need to get a whole bunch of new certifications and stuff that you don't have any experience in to be able to serve these clients. You have everything that you need to be able to package yourself to serve people. You already have it. It's just a matter of figuring out how we put that out in the marketplace, create something that is easy for people to look at and understand, and then get brave enough to put it out there. And bravery is something that it is brave to actually niche. It is brave to put yourself out there. It is brave to say, this is the best of what I've got, and this is only what I'm going to serve you with, and let everything else go. It takes guts. It takes grit. It takes fully owning who you are, what you're doing, how you know you can help people. But once you do that, once you can fully have that moment of ease and keep bringing yourself to that moment of ease, because you know that all the pieces have come together, all the years of experience that you have, all the expertise, all the training that you have taken, all the passion that you have to serve these people in the right industry that you know you are a master at. Once all those pieces come together and you package it in a way that you go, yeah, I can do this for the next 5 years and just fully commit to this, that's where everything changes. The right clients start showing up. The money starts coming in. The impact that you want to create starts to happen. And it starts to happen at a faster and faster pace. The longer you're committed to that path that is totally aligned with all those pieces, the faster everything starts to accelerate. And it does take a while to get that momentum. That's why it's scary. That's why it's easy to be like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I want to run back to what I know. So you have to be committed to being in the discomfort. And when you do, for long enough, then things start to happen. For some people, it happens within the first week. For some people, it happens within the first few months. But if you can stay committed and you know that you want to do these things that are fully aligned with what you've got, your experience, your expertise, and your passion, then you will get there. And you have to be ready to be a little bit scared along the path and be brave and keep going, even though you're not 100% sure how it's going to turn out. Now, if you are trying to figure out how you can bring those pieces together, your experience, your expertise, and your passion in a way that is going to be impactful, I have a challenge coming up next week that is going to really help you to see yourself in a different light. It's going to help you to see what your niche should be, who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, how you want to design your life and your business to have the life that you want. So if you are at that point where you're either wanting to explore this or wanting to fully jump in, make sure you get registered for that challenge. I promise you, it will change your mind about yourself and about your possibilities and about your potential to do exactly what you want to do with your life, serve the kind of clients that you want to serve, and start moving yourself into that potential that you've always known that you've had. So make sure, again, you click that link below, get registered for that challenge, and I will see you next week.